2 points here, and you want to make a parabola that goes through them. So there's a real simple way to do that. And so what you want to think about is, well, if I have a point that's on the x-axis, this means my y, I didn't go up or down. So I've got a y of 0. And what that really means, if you think about a parabola, is that you're saying the output of my equation was 0. Okay, so instead of saying y equals, we're going to say 0 equals. Okay, but now we take advantage of this idea that if I have the factored form of it, so remember we've been practicing this factoring. Okay. And so we say x plus 3, x plus 5 equals 0. And so we'll change that to y, okay? And we say, well, if y is that, well, when is that value going to be 0? Well, it's going to be 0 if I put in minus 3. Minus 3 plus 3 is 0. So it doesn't matter what the other part is. 0 times anything is 0. So when I put in a minus 3, I'm going to get a 0. When I put in a plus 3, when I put in a plus 5, I'm going to get a 0. So that's how you can get your parabola to go through that. Okay, but what if you wanted it to go upside down? Well, you'd say, well, I'll just multiply that by minus x squared. Okay, so then you look at it and say, well, yeah, but I don't want that factored form, but that's a good way to start. And then you can say, well, you know, another way to do it would be, I could say y equals, and I multiply it out, okay? So what do I get? So leave the minus there and say, okay, I'm going to have the minus times it, but I'm just going to multiply that out. I'm going to get x times x is x squared, okay? And then when I look at it, I've got plus 3x, so I'll just write it out, plus 3x and minus 5x, and then 3 times minus 5 is minus 15, okay? So I get that, okay, and I say, and I'll turn off the black, and you can see that it's exactly the same equation, right? It gives you the same result. And then you say, well, wait a minute, 3x and minus 5x is really minus 2x, okay? So we've got that, can go through. And then the other thing you'd say is, well, if I have that, where is my vertex? It's at 1 and 16. So let's see if we can get a vertex to go through that. So we'll say, well, y equals, so remember the mother of all parabolas is this x minus 0 squared plus 0. And we say, okay, well, what do you have to do? Well, we got to make it over 1, so we're going to say minus 1, and we'll move it over. And then we want it to be upside down, so we say minus x squared. And then we want it to be at 116, so x minus 1, put it at x is 1, and add 16, and there we go, and you've got that. So there's 3 forms of a parabola that go through that same spot, those same 2 points. So we start with those 2 points, you can do it. You might say, well, what if I wanted to go through 8, 1, and 1, 8 instead. 1, 8, so I want to go through that instead. You say, well, instead of 16, you want to have 8. So what could we do here? We could cut it in half, right? Would that do it? Let's see if that'll do it. Let's see if that does it. Turn that one on. Yeah, and that would do it. So right, we'd still go through there, but we'd only have half as much output. So you can see how you can play around with those.